Hey everyone and welcome back to Final Fantasy XIV, where today it is time to continue the main story with Stories We Tell. As we were getting started, I do want to recap a little bit of info we learned last time. First off, it is, while as of right now I have not yet beaten Turn 9 of the Binding Coils, I'm hoping to do that this coming weekend, on just my end, my time right now. While I haven't beaten Turn 9 yet, and I don't remember exactly how much we will have learned about Nail's story by the time we finish Turn 9. It is very obvious from what we learned last time, or from what was discussed last time, that Nail's story is not public yet, which is fun. Also, Allag. Holy crap, the Allagan Empire existed around 5,000 years prior to the present day, I think, if I remember correctly. 4,000? 4,000 or 5,000? Somewhere around there. A long time ago. So, let's see. They created Dalamud to be a second moon, which contained Bahamut, and kept Bahamut alive over thousands of years, using Dalamud and Bahamut together as effectively a giant solar panel, which channeled all of that energy that it collected over thousands of years to the Crystal Tower, which they built as well, which appears to be a giant solar battery. It's a giant battery for storing all that energy from Dalamud. God, that's horrifying. That is so much energy built up over the thousands and thousands of years that it has existed. And then on top of that, they also built the Ultima weapon, which is capable of using primals as fuel. And they built the Omega weapon, which we don't know much about yet, other than it was designed to defeat Bahamut. And I want to point something out. While we don't have official measurements of how big Bahamut was, we do know from the Binding Coils, just from looking at the scenery that we walk all over, that Bahamut was freaking massive. Fans have measured the size of Bahamut's wings and hands in the first Coils of Bahamut, and there's an estimate out there that Bahamut, his wingspan was just shy of 13 kilometers from tip to tip of his wings. Let me get a conversion to miles real quick, for those of you who use miles instead of kilometers. That is an 8-mile wingspan. Miles. And then if you go back and you look at the opening cutscene for A Realm Reborn, where we see Bahamut coming out of Dalamud and blowing everything up, if we look at specifically the moment where Bahamut uses Terra Flare, Bahamut's just a little itty bitty tiny speck. Just 13-kilometer wingspan, itty bitty tiny speck compared to the Terra Flare. I want to emphasize that the 7th Umbral Calamity was a fucking calamity, and it is a miracle that there is people alive anywhere at all. It's a fucking miracle. Anyways, Allag and Bahamut. Terrifying. What the fuck is with the Allagan Empire? They built all this horrifying shit. Why? Let's be glad they don't exist. It's probably not hard to make some assumptions about why they don't exist anymore, honestly, with the amount of firepower they had. I feel like there's probably a good chance they blew themselves up, though I would love to learn more. I'm sure we'll learn more at some point. Recent revelations weigh heavily on Alphino's mind. Yeah, same here. I should be glad to know the truth, and yet, the thought that all this chaos was the product of one man's lust for power sickens me. Oh yeah, Teleji had a Leggy. Very pissed. How long do you think they intended to hide the existence of Omega from the Scions? That they even felt the need to do so is most troubling. It would be in our best interest to learn more of the military activities in the disputed territories. You are, of course, the Scion best suited to this task, Lieutenant Lancy. Do take a moment to visit the Adder's Nest and make inquiries at the earliest available opportunity. And that is actually going to be the intended introduction to most of the PvP modes in this game, specifically the Frontlines mode. We'll get into that when we get into that. We haven't had the time to do a lot of extra side content lately because the freaking fate grind for relics, and then also we're catching up on the seasonal events right now. We'll get to the Frontlines PvP soon enough, I promise. But Frontlines PvP is specifically about, well, part of the Frontlines PvP is specifically about that whole storyline with Cartano. Begone, whelp, this is no place for children. I'm sorry. I was looking for you, miss. You said you were looking for the man who left with my parents. Oh, you're the kid from the camp. Yes. You know this girl? I do. Her parents were victims of the merchants who were inciting riots. So he visited Stone's Throw as well, I see. Did you find the man? Were my parents with him? I found him, but I did not find your parents, I'm sorry. They were not, I am afraid. However, I can think of several places they might be. If you'd like, we can go and look for them together. Really? You'll help me look, mister? Of course, but first I must needs finish speaking with my friend. She's telling me a secret, you see, so no one else is allowed to listen. Mayhap you could wait for me by that pillar over there. We require but a moment. Good job, Alphino. You're good with kids, I will admit. Okay, mister, I'll be waiting. I'll take her to the quicksand. Mayhap Momodi will know what to do. A legion of Garleans and Ether Starved Primal. Even dealing with an Ascian would be preferable to this charade. Sometimes I fear Minfilia is too ambitious. We rush hither and yon in response to threats as they arise, without concern for the strain it places on our limited resources and ourselves. You're not wrong, Alphino. But Minfilia was, if I recall correctly, somewhat opposed to helping out with the refugee issue in Ul'dah. For basically that reason, it was me who pushed her into it, if I'm remembering correctly. Mayhap the time has come for a change. Well, I don't like that. Centaura, this is Minfilia. I know this is sudden, but I must ask you to return to Revenant Soul with all due haste. The situation in the 12's has taken a turn for the worse. I'll explain in detail once you arrive. Well, I've been summoned. The 12's then the primal threat she spoke of before, has been confirmed. I have received no reports of Ixali activity, which leaves the Sylphs? Go, Satora. You know as well as I that the appearance of a primal takes precedence over all else. Oh, and when you arrive, do inform the antecedent that while I am grateful for her concern, she needn't fear for my safety. I am more than capable of protecting myself. Like, Alphino, I do believe you to be quite capable, but you are also quite pretentious and full of yourself, and I am, concerned. What do you mean time for a change? You're not going to overthrow Minfilia, are you? I doubt it. But I am curious what he means by that. He is certainly full of himself. It does not help that he is competent enough that it probably justifies that in his mind. Alright then, Minfilia, I'm arrived. Before we talk to you, I do want to see how everyone else is doing here at the Rising Stones. Anything change? In my native land, there exist individuals not unlike these adventurers, yet without a master to serve. Okay, this is old. This is old. This is old. Okay, probably no updates to dialogue then. Interesting. Thancred's still flirting with Flamine. This is all the same. Okay, sure, okay. I was kind of expecting that things would have changed by this point, but oh well. I return, Minfilia, and it seems we've got someone from the Twin Adder here. I am come on behalf of the Elder Seedseer to petition the aid of your order. The antecedent has been apprised of the situation. Alright, thank you. We will see what we can do. It is a relief to see you healthy and hale, Satora. The latest news from Ul'dah was most disturbing. Alphino says don't worry about him, he's fine. He can take care of himself. Clearly, the only injury Alphino suffered was to his ego. Doubtless it will heal ere long. The other Scions will need to be present for this meeting. If you are ready to begin, I will summon them now. Alright, I took a look at what we want for this, and I think we want to go with the Gloam, which is going to be strength, critical hit, direct hit. That I'm not actually quite sure on which specific set that technically corresponds with. This would be aiming. I would assume this would be... Doesn't matter. When I went over my notes, it looked like that was what we needed most, so let's see what we can, who we can equip it to. So it's not, of course it's not Ninja. Ninja wants aiming. It's not Dragoon, so it's probably striking equivalent. No. Who wants this? Nobody? I could have sworn I had at least one job that wanted this. Nope. Nope. Seriously? I could have sworn I had at least one job that wanted this, but sure, I guess we don't need it after all. Alright then, fine, whatever. Got the Gloam for nothing. I guess I can sell it for Grand Company seals or desynthesize it for desynth levels. Where'd it go? Oh, in our armory chest stuff. Anyways. Alright then, with that, next time on Final Fantasy XIV, time to learn about the Lord of Levin. I'll see everyone next time for that.